Okay, let's be so for real. Being a teenager is like playing a video game on hard mode, but with no tutorial. Your hands are shaking, you have everyone around you saying that you need to know what you want to do for life and be the best possible version of yourself, all while dealing with cringy crushes, fake friends, and stressing over grades. Like, who signed me up for this? Not me. But you're in luck, because today I'm going to be sharing with you all the wisdom, all the tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I was a teenager. I've been out of school for quite some time, so I feel like I'm somewhat qualified to give you some hot tips and tricks that honestly I wish I knew when I was your age. So grab a drink, grab a snack, get super cozy, and let's get into the video. Number one, you do not have to have your whole future planned out. Like, I had no idea what I was doing when I was 20, let alone what I'm doing right now as a 26-year-old. I'm still clueless, so it is perfectly okay that you as a teenager have no idea what to do next. That is so fine, it's so normal. So, you will have your teachers, your family, your peers, society, and social media telling you that you need to have everything planned out. You need to know what you're doing after high school, what your job is going to be right now. Otherwise, you are going to be a failure in life. And that is so not true. It's such a bad mindset to have. Why are we forcing teenagers to know what they want to do when people don't even know what they're doing half the time? People have no clue. They've got no idea. When I was in primary school, I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to help animals. Then when I was in high school, I wanted to become an interior designer. I wanted to design the inside of houses and commercial spaces and everything. I even went off to uni to study interior design. I dropped out, and now I am a full-time YouTuber. That is my job. That is my career. I had no idea that I would go down this path. I always wanted to be a YouTuber. But the fact that I'm a full-time YouTuber now, giving you guys advice, it's crazy to me. It's so crazy. You can change your career path at any time. You can change your passions at any time. You are not set in stone. You are not destined to just be one thing. You can be many things at any time. And don't let anybody force you into a passion or a career or something that you don't want to do, because it's your life, not theirs. They can do what they want to do. If they want to get into a job they hate, they can do that. But for you, you do what you want to do, okay? A great example I like to think of is my auntie and this guy that I actually went to university with. These are two separate people in my life, but have the exact same story. So this guy I went to university with, he was in his 50s. He had been a bank manager his whole entire life because that's what he thought he wanted to be and what his family and everyone around him wanted. He became a bank manager and absolutely slayed it, but he was unhappy. Eventually, later on in life, he realized he wanted to be an interior designer. So at the age of 50, he went to university. He was in my class, and he was so funny. Everybody wanted to be around him. He was cracking jokes, and he was so wise, as you would be as a 50-year-old. But that's just to say, there is nothing set in stone. You can go to university in your 50s if you want to. That is so cool. I love that so much. Same thing happened with my auntie. She wanted to be an interior designer. There's a theme going on here. She went to school and studied it, finished her course, and then she was like, actually, I'm not even happy with this. I want to be a chef. She went back to school, got her license, bought a little store, made it into one of the best restaurants my town had ever seen. Now she is retired, living her best life, loving, living, and laughing. I love that so much. She literally went to university twice because she changed her mind, and that's so fine. So I like to think of those stories when I'm feeling a little bit stuck, and hopefully they helped you as well, because it just reminds me that we can literally just change it up anytime. There is nothing set in stone. So especially as a teenager, if you're watching this, listen to me right now. Read my lips. You don't have to have it figured out, okay? High school is such a tiny little speck of your life. When I was in school, the only things that ever mattered were crushes, my friends. Does my hair look good? Are my eyebrows plucked? Are my legs shaved? Oh my God, are my legs shaved? I wish someone had sat me down and was like, Shelly, none of this is going to matter in 5 years, okay? So just take it easy. Do not burn yourself out with your grades. Do not care about these friends that are not even going to be your friends anymore in 5 years. Stop worrying. That's not to say to let loose and just go absolutely crazy, because school does impact you as a person. It helps you grow and develop into somewhat of the human you are becoming. It doesn't mean you are going to be that person forever, but it does help. Also, popular kids, sit down and trust me when I say that the high school hierarchy does not matter in the real world. Being popular, you can't put that on your resume, okay? Nobody gives a expletive. I personally was never involved with the popular kids. I was more on like the lower mid-range kind of vibe, but I wasn't really existing in high school. I was just like a side character. Nobody knew I was there. But after school had finished and everyone had moved on with their lives, I started working at a major retail chain, a supermarket. So many of the popular kids worked there, and we actually got along like a house on fire. We were work besties. It was so strange because these people did not even know I really existed in high school. And now we're work besties. The world works weird. So trust me when I say that the social ladder does not exist outside of high school. Your grades are not going to matter out of high school. You know how much homework you smashed out, it's not going to matter after high school, okay? So whatever you're stressing about right now, trust me, it will pass, and you won't even think about it in a week's time. But if you are going through something, do not be afraid to reach out. Whether that's to a family member, a friend, or even a counselor, even a teacher. They might not seem like they're on our side. Trust me, I used to hate my teachers. I was not a fan of them. I thought they were out to get me. They were out for blood. But they're actually there to help, and they just want your school experience to be as best as it possibly can. They don't want you to be bullied. They don't want you to be going through hardships. They're there to help. Get out of your comfort zone. I did not have a confident bone in my body. I was so insecure. I was kind of ugly. I was a doormat. I was a people pleaser, and I was a chameleon. I would not do anything at my own will. I did not have a backbone. I'd be following what my friends would be doing. And that got me into a lot of stupid decisions that I did not want to be in. I regret that so much. I regret not having a backbone of my own to do stuff by myself, to say no to my friends, to have boundaries and stop letting shitty people talk to me that way or treat me that way. I wish I had a backbone, and I regret not having one. I also regret not asking my crushes out. I know at the time it's a big deal, and it's daunting and scary, and oh my God, what's the worst that's going to happen? They say no, okay? Like I'm going to move on to the next one. I had so many crushes, and I didn't do a single thing about them because once again, I was shy, ugly, and didn't have any confidence. If you have a crush and you're like umming and ahhing, literally just ask them out, okay? And if they say no, you can go on to the next one, or you can just move on and forget about this person because obviously they weren't for you. I also regret not playing sports or doing classes that I wanted to do, but my friends weren't in those classes. So in the chameleon I didn't do the things that I wanted to do. And I wish I did sports, especially because I wanted to be a sporty kid. But the friends that I was with at the time during high school, they thought sports was lame. You know, they'd sit out and like wag the sporting class. I unfortunately got involved with that too because they were my friends. I was going to follow them, of course. But deep down, I wanted to be playing sport with those people. I wanted to become friends with those sporty people. It's so stupid because I was following these people and being too scared to do my own thing, and I'm not even friends with these people anymore. So learn from me, okay? If you want to do a class or if you want to do something, but your friends are not doing it because they think it's lame or it's just not their thing, go and do it, okay? Trust me, go and do it. If you want to ask a boy out, just do it. And I 100% recommend working on your confidence and growing a backbone because I hated who I was as a teenager. Like I wasn't a bad person. but I also wasn't a person. In general, I was literally a doormat. Like the inanimate object, I was a freaking doormat. It's okay to be single, especially as a teenager. I get it. You know, the hormones are crazy, they're raging. Getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend, it seems so cute, you know? The cuddles and the adventures and all the other gross, cringe stuff. I get it. Please don't let your friends or your peers or anybody convince you or rush you into this. You don't have to be doing what everyone else is doing, okay? You don't need to rush into it, and don't let that mentality trick you, because being single is such a blessing, especially in high school, because you are developing everything, right? Especially who you are as a person. There's so many people out there in the world that are going to be better and hotter than the people in your grade, okay? So much better. Like all my crushes that I had in school, I look back at them right now and I'm like, what was that? One of them is in jail. I just liked them at the time because they had the same hair color as my hyper fixation at the time, you know? So whoever your crushes are in high school, whoever your boyfriends and girlfriends are in high school, they are going to be completely different in 5 years' time, and you are as well. If you're single and you're feeling left out, or your peers are trying to pressure you, don't worry about them, okay? Just focus on yourself. Don't let them pressure you into something that you don't want to do. Boys especially, do not let them. Do not know. Whether it's your friends or your partner, do not waste your youth on crappy friends or crappy relationships, okay? I spent a majority of my prime teen years dating a dude that made me cry every single night. I had to beg this person to brush their teeth. I was apologizing to friends that did me dirty, even though they were showing me their true colors. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, besties. We're not doing that, okay? We're not doing that. Please learn from me. Dump that loser. Dump those friends that don't have your back, that are talking bad about you. Find friends that are going to love you and involve you just because they love being around you. Be single and enjoy yourself. Find out what you lack, what you dislike, have high standards and stick to them. Do not go below those standards, okay? Because that person that is constantly making you cry every single night, or that ghosts you for days on end, is not your soulmate, okay? Trust me, they're not your soulmate. And that friend that keeps backstabbing you and making you feel like that, that's not your bestie. I like to think of the saying, once a door closes, another one opens. Because it's so true. It has shown me time and time again over my lifetime that once I close the door on a shitty person, a shitty relationship, another door opens, and it is a bigger, better, beautiful person. But you're not going to get them unless you close the door to those crappy relationships, crappy friends, crappy situations. You are too young and too hot to be crying over somebody that is giving you literal breadcrumbs. Have self-worth outside of social media. This is so important, by the way. Likes and followers do not mean a thing. They are literally just pixelated numbers on a screen. Once you turn off that screen, they do not matter. They do not exist. They don't define your worth. They don't define who you are as a person. They don't define how hot you are. They don't define how funny you are. They do not mean a thing, okay? And if you tie your validation to these pixelated numbers, you are just going to harm your self-worth. You're going to harm your physical body, because if you don't feel good on the inside, you're not going to feel good on the outside. So remind yourself that the most important validation that you can get is from yourself. And it's easy to compare, and it's easy to feel horrible, especially as a teenager, because you are very sensitive. You are very insecure. You're growing in all these different ways. Things are happening. Your brain is developing. And seeing all these things on social media without realizing that it's a highlight reel is so damaging, because you see all these people, you see all these end results, but you're still on your journey to that end result. Like you're comparing your average to someone's peak. I feel like social media has also ruined our perspective on everything. Like we get minimum likes and it ruins our day, right? We get 10 likes, we feel like, oh my God, we're so ugly. But if we had 10 people in the room with us right now, clapping and cheering, we feel so validated. We feel so happy. But we just forget that because social media has ruined that image so much. It's all about the numbers and the likes and the followers, and it's not okay. It's not. Those pixelated numbers, they don't mean anything. If you are hanging around rotten fruit, it's only a matter of time before you become rotten too. And that's not to say that you're going to be as toxic and nasty as they are, but their view on the world, the gossiping, the insecurities, their toxicity will start to leak into your thoughts and taint you with their ugliness, okay? We don't think it's a big deal, but the people that we surround ourselves with impact us a lot more than we think we know. Like they've become a part of us and what we know and how we feel, and it's crazy. When I was a part of a toxic group, I started to have the insecurity of caring what other people thought. Even though I had years and years of working on myself and getting rid of that insecurity, but it was back because I was surrounded by people who I thought were my friends, were backstabbing people. They also called them friends and besties, and oh my God, I love this person so much when they're in my face. But when they're gone, I'm talking mad about them. And once I cut these people off, got them out of my life, I feel happy again. I don't feel insecure about how people feel about me or how I look. I do not care. And it's just crazy to me that that only happened because I was surrounded by those kinds of people. I was surrounded by people who judged, so I felt judged. And you just have to be so careful of who you surround yourself with. And you're allowed to be picky, by the way, like these are your friends. Also, I have so many videos on my channel about toxic friends, friendship groups, how to make friends, all that kind of stuff, so be sure to check them out. I have a full playlist. I'll leave it in the description because it's going to help you so much. Having insecurities as a teen is so normal because your body's changing, your brain is changing. You're suddenly getting acne in places you never thought would happen. You're growing more hair, emotions are heightened, hormones are crazy. Everyone is going through their insecurities, and everyone is going through this exact same thing. Your brain, your hormones, your heightened emotions are going to convince you that these minuscule little things that nobody notices are actually a big deal, but they're not, okay? Do not let your brain convince you because they're not a big deal. Like I used to be so obsessed with shaving my legs. I was so insecure that I had hair on my legs, like every other person in the world. Why was it so weird for me? It was so normal, but I obsessed. The best thing about growing up, though, is that those insecurities do eventually fade. And obviously, it comes with a lot of self-love and a lot of self-work and all that kind of stuff. Like, it does take time, but they do fade, and they're not as big of a deal anymore. Like, I'm out here midsummer, unshaven legs. I do not care. I might crack a joke and be like, I didn't shave my legs. Oh my God. But nobody's like, ew, yucky. Everyone's like, oh, I didn't shave mine either. People care about how kind of a person you are, how accepting and non-judgmental you are. They are not worried about your unplucked eyebrow or your itty-bitties, okay? They're not worried. Nobody's worried about that. And if they do care about those little things, they are not worth your time. That kind of person literally sucks, like they're a loser and they're not going to get very far in life, okay? Very ugly behavior, they're not going to get far. Another point I would love to make is that outgrowing people is A-okay. Once you leave high school, you are greeted with a world full of opportunities, whether that's going to university, jumping into a workforce, taking a gap year, moving away, living with your parents, traveling, whatever it may be, you can do any of those things at any given time. And your friends are going to do them as well. Like these people that you saw every single day for the last 6 years, they're going to go off and do their own thing as well. And eventually you're going to see less and less of them and maybe even fizzle out entirely. And you're never going to see this person ever again. And that's okay. Currently, my greatest friends and my soul connections that I've met have all been people I met out of high school in like the weirdest, wackiest ways possible. Like I met a friend through a Facebook girl group. What? I met another bestie on Bumble BFF. Another bestie at a job that I didn't plan to transfer to, but I did. I met another bestie at a dinner I did not even want to go to, and she didn't even want to go to, but we sat across the table from each other and we talked all night. It was so beautiful. We didn't even know each other, and now she is an important person in my life. It's just crazy how friends come into your life. It's so okay if you are outgrowing your friends from high school because that is so normal. And that just means you're growing. That means they're growing, and that's exciting. That's great. It would be more concerning if you still had your friends in high school but no other friends. That would be concerning because 1, you're not growing. 2, you guys might be a little toxic. You're not really allowing people to come in. You're being a bit nasty. Trust me when I say this, but work on your mental health while you're young, okay? I wish I could shake my teenage self right now, get into a brawl with her, punch on with her about our mental health because she did not care, ignored all the signs, and I had to deal with the outcome years later. I'm so mad at teenage me. I am so frustrated with her. Why did she do that to me? I just thought getting dizzy for no reason was normal. I thought waking up at 3 or 4 a.m. in a hot sweat and feeling nauseous as hell was just a bad dream. I didn't even know what a panic attack was when I was a teenager, but I thought they were normal. Whatever the hell was happening to my body, I thought that was normal. At the worst of my mental health, I could not leave the house without having a panic attack or without feeling so nauseous to the point I had to lay down and I was feeling so faint. I got diagnosed with severe anxiety at the age of 23. It is brought on by agoraphobia, not a good time. And it took me so much expensive therapy to get to the point I am at today, where I can actually eat food again and leave the house without having an anxiety attack. Leave my comfort zone without feeling faint and sick and dizzy. Like I can actually live my life now. And obviously I still suffer from anxiety, like that is not going to go away, but it's all containable now. I know how to work with it. I know what to do to make my body happy and healthy. And I touch wood, I have not had a panic attack in over a year. I love it so much, like life is lifing again, and I'm so happy. But I wish that I could just grab myself, my younger self, by the shoulders and shake some goddamn sense into her. I wish I got help sooner. I wish I took it seriously more sooner. And even if it's just teeny tiny little steps, please take it from me. Please focus on your mental health. Please don't ignore it like I did, because it might seem fine at the time, but you will pay for it down the line if you just keep ignoring and thinking you're okay. And getting help for your mental health is just as important as physical health. Like if you've got a broken bone, people are going to tell you to heal, okay? They're going to tell you to rest. They should do the same for your mental health because it's not a broken bone, but it does require the same kind of healing time to get yourself back on track. Mental health is so important, and whether you start creating little habits for yourself, journaling, going for a walk when you feel foggy, unplugging from social media when it all gets too much, talking to someone that you trust, whether it's a family member, a friend, a counselor, a doctor, getting a mental health plan and start working on yourself is all so important. And no matter how big or small, please take the time for your mental health. Please take it seriously, please. It's so important. It's so valid. And putting yourself first is not selfish, okay? It is a necessity. It is a must if we want to be happy, healthy, and thriving. That was such a heavy note to leave on. I'm so sorry. I'm just such an advocate for mental health, and I never want anybody to go through what I went through because I thought I could handle it myself, okay? I could honestly make so many of these videos. I have so much advice to give to my younger self. So if you want more of these videos, be sure to let me know because I will do it. I will do it for sure. Be sure to check out my other videos as well because it helps me so much and helps to create these videos that you love and enjoy. So be sure to check them out as well. If you've gotten this far in the video, I know it was a lot, it was huge, it was a massive video. I want you to leave a yellow emoji in your comments. It can be yellow anything. Make it yellow like this mug. I love this mug. Anyway, I am going to love you and leave you guys. I will see you guys in my video on Sunday, so bye.